I will wait a couple seconds. I don't know. Can I see this? Okay. It says we are live. So, oh, okay. I see where. Okay, but we don't have anybody here yet, so we'll wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, there we are.
No. Oh, there we go. Now there are three. But can I see them?
Including me.
I'm doing. I'm doing this on my phone, people, which is different than I normally do it. So
Oh,
I'm not sure if I'll be able to see things. It does say I can see comments, so hopefully.
oh, that's my cat.
Oh, I was gonna
Stop.
say, do you have a baby in your house?
No, my cat, he's been really whiny the
Hmm.
last couple of days.
Hmm. No. Hi, Zoe. Okay, I can see you. Yay, good.
Oh,
All
hey,
right.
Zoe, Amy.
I was waiting for somebody to post something in the comments to see if it was showing up. We're just waiting a couple of minutes until we see if we have a lot more people show up.
Yeah, this is earlier in the month than usual.
Yeah, I just thought it would be good for since it was an Amish book to kind
Yeah,
of coordinate it with the end of
with the
Amish in
conclusion of.
April. Yeah,
Did you
even
read
though I have
anything else?
nothing to do with that. What's that?
Yeah. Did you read anything else for Amish April?
I no, I didn't get a chance. I originally I thought that I would read Lethal Licorice by Amanda Flowers, which Sarah from the Book of Schnitter read. Um, and I was all geared up to do it, and I totally forgot about it. I didn't write it down on my TBR, and I I finished this
Oh,
one, and I was like, wasn't I going to read something else? And I'm like, oh, darn it. So, but I finished like six other things this week, so none of them were
that's
Amish
really
though.
good.
So now I have one buddy read left for the month, and it's not till next week, like not this coming week, but the week after. So I'm like, what do I read? I don't know. That's not true. I do have other things, but
Yeah, there's always something. Yeah, no, so I was caught off guard. I mean, I knew we were meeting earlier. And then let's see, I thought I was going to start the book. I thought I was going to start
Mhm,
this at the beginning of the week.
mhm.
But then I was trying to I've been in a horrible reading slump. I
Oh
just have
no.
not wanted to read anything. Like
Yeah.
I'm just feeling super lazy. I
Hmm.
don't want to read anything. I just like nothing is inspiring me. Nothing is inspiring me to pick it up. And I don't know if it's because I'm trying to get through books that I've been trying to read for a couple of months, or if it's because I'm
Maybe.
in the mood to read something else. And I don't feel like I can pick those things up until I finish this. I mean, until I
Mm-hmm.
finish the books I'm already reading, or if I'm just going through, just a normal slump. Because when I slump, I can slump really hard. Like I can go months without reading
Uh oh.
anything, and I haven't had that happen because of having booktube around. So
Hmm.
since booktube started, like I'll slump for a couple of weeks, but then I you know
Something comes
pick
up
things
you're
up right
excited
away.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking maybe it's just that season in my life where I'm hitting a dry spell, and I
Hmm.
need to just let it happen. Maybe for like 3 months I need to just not read anything,
Yeah.
and then maybe come back after 3 months and see uh
Yeah.
if I'm okay.
If I'm okay. Well, that's an
Amy
interesting
says,
thought. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, Amy says reading slumps suck. They really do. They
Hmm.
do. It's like I'm not, I'm not enjoying reading, but I'm also really frustrated that I'm not enjoying what I'm reading because it's like I'm a reader, and as
Yeah.
a reader, it's just a
Mm.
part of who you are, right? Reading is a
Right.
part of who you are. It's almost like breathing. You need to do it,
Uh
but I
huh.
just have no desire
Maybe
to.
maybe you need a month with no TBR and like just of mood reading and just like if you feel like picking something up, there's no deadline.
Right.
But
Well, that's what I was thinking of doing in June. There are a couple of books that I'm going to read in June. I have a couple of buddy reads, and then I have a a readathon that I'm planning to do. But other
Mhm.
than that, I thought of maybe just sticking with mood reading.
Mhm.
But I still have all these books that I haven't finished that I
Oh.
think I'm gonna have to move into May. So it's like it's just like a really bad cycle. Like I have to
Yeah.
finish all of these books, which I'm not reading, so I just have to keep moving them into the next month. And the cycle won't end until I finish reading these books. I just have to get to them.
Yeah. Yeah, Zoe agrees with me. You should mood read. But I know how that is because that's actually like where I am now and actually having some breathing room since I finished a bunch of books. I I still need to read Paralandra for the second part of Victoria's readathon she's doing or
Oh
read
yeah.
along. Um, but that's going to be really short, and I can probably find an audiobook version of it. And then um, I'm part of. Hi, Dia. No, we're just chatting. No big deal. Um, uh, I have been a part of Krista from Books and Jams, her Patreon, but I haven't read any of the books yet. So, like this month, I'm like, I really should try to read something that I'm part of for the Patreon. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I might. So I only have like two books before the buddy read I have to. So I can probably find that on audiobook too. So then I'm thinking like I've been wanting to try to binge the Port Danby mystery series that I like and get up to date on it. So I'm like, maybe I should pick one of those up this week, and that can be like my physical read of the week, and not
Yeah.
you know because then I'm the same way. Like I get overwhelmed, and I'm like, I can't read anything because I have too many things.
Yeah, and you know what else I'm wondering? I'm wondering if maybe because I have been in the mood for audiobooks, but
Mhm.
so I read this, or I almost finished this as an audiobook.
Mhm.
Um,
Ah,
and I was able to pick it up because it was an audiobook. Were I just reading the physical book, I think I would have been made it to like halfway and I'd still
yeah.
be struggling to get halfway. But because there was an audiobook, I think
Hmm.
that really it was a little bit more of a motivator to pick it up
Yeah.
every night or the last couple of nights since I started reading
Hmm.
this. So I'm thinking maybe I need to move to audiobooks right now.
Yeah.
Try audiobooks and see if that kind of helps.
Hmm. Sometimes I think too it's more motivating to do like shorter books on audio because you feel like you're getting through them faster.
Yeah.
And or like even just this last week I had a bunch of books that I was like you like partway finished with them, but and I had so many of them, and a lot of them I was doing on ebook or physically, and I was like, I'm never going to finish any of these if I just sit down and read them. So I found a bunch of them on audiobook,
Hmm.
so I was able to finish books just on audio, so just to get them done. um,
Yeah.
and that helped because then I feel less overwhelmed now. Like I can do
Yeah.
what I want.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. I have several Audible credits because I haven't purchased any audiobooks through Amazon in probably the last 3 or 4 months. So I should have about four
Okay.
Audible credits. And
Oh yeah.
I'm also on Scribd, which I need to decide
Yeah.
if I'm gonna do Scribd or Audible because I can't do both. I
Okay.
shouldn't do both. So I think maybe for the rest of the month. Well, no, not the rest of the month because I'm doing Half-a-Ween-a-thon the last week
Oh.
of April. So everything that I'm reading right now is going to be put off to the side for Half-a-Ween-a-thon.
Oh.
So maybe,
Okay.
but I'll try for the next few days. I'll try audiobooks and
Mhm.
see how I feel about them.
Yeah. Maybe
I mean,
take
I
one.
like
Take.
audiobooks. I I do like
Mhm.
audiobooks. The thing is, the narrator can either like make or break the book.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Like the narrator for this one, she was a little bit annoying.
She was,
I mean, she was okay. I mean, let's be honest. The writing on this is like it's not going to win any prizes, but so she was working with what she had, but
right, right.
some of her voices were a little odd.
Yeah, she didn't have much of a range, did she?
No, and I couldn't tell, like, and I didn't know if this was the writing. Well, I guess we should talk about this later, but yeah, so her range was like she was trying.
Yeah,
Kudos
she
to her.
was.
But
Yeah, but she definitely was not the best
yeah,
narrator.
yeah, like
Unfor-
there it could have been better. But so, hi Tanya, hello, and Christy. I said hi, but I was more of a wave. So I didn't want to
Now,
interrupt you.
now Jessica says, I'm not in a reading slump, but I'm at the point where I don't know what to pick next for fear of of a reading slump. I get
Ooh,
that.
yeah,
I understand that.
hmm yeah. I've been there before too, because you don't want to pick something that will like drag you down and and take too long, and then you'll get behind.
Yeah. Now, Jessica, you read a lot of books that are recommended to you, don't you? Like, at least I've noticed, at least that's what I think I've noticed about you. You're really good about picking up books that get recommended and then finishing up the books that you're reading for book clubs. I'm really bad about that. I mean, I'm bad about completing books, period.
I finally finished The Girl from Yam Hill. From Yam
Oh,
Hill.
okay.
Finally, that was
But
one
what
of
did
my
you
like partly finished books. I did like it. I
what did you
I
think of the
really
mom?
want to read. The mom? Oh, what'd you say?
Yeah, what did you think of the mom?
Oh,
Sorry to go off topic a little here.
oh no, that's okay. She was horrible.
Wasn't she?
Yes, I was like, oh my gosh, why? Like, I don't know. I just still can't understand her.
She
Like,
definitely had some issues, right?
yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, like
Yeah.
she was definitely controlling of basically the whole family because the dad, even though he like sided with Beverly, he would like underhandedly help her
Yeah.
out. Like he would never just say, "This is what we're doing." Well, I guess he did. Kind of when she decided she wanted to go away to college,
Mhm.
he kind of just
Yeah.
told the mom, "No, she's going." but
Yeah.
but yeah, like even at the end, whenever she said her dad gave her a hug and a kiss goodbye, and her mom didn't. I'm like,
Mhm.
but yet you're worried that she's gonna get infantile whatever was in. I forget what that
Yeah.
even was, or like killed by an earthquake. But yet you're gonna be like, whatever. You can go away to California and die if you want. I don't.
Yeah, she was just a very I mean, obviously parents aren't perfect, but she had some issues that needed resolving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I could tell she definitely had depression.
Oh, yeah.
Um, because she would just kind of stay in the house all the time, and but yet she wanted to make it look like she was perfectly fine. So she'd just call people on the phone and make up stories about
Yeah.
about her daughter.
Yeah, but it was just a very strange relationship. Very,
Yeah.
very strange. Yeah.
Yeah. And that Gerhardt guy. Goodness.
Oh gosh.
I
Gerhardt. What a
was like,
loser.
I know. I'm like, she turned you down twice, buddy, for marriage. Like, just cut your losses and leave, okay?
Yeah. And then him and the mom teaming up and just being weird. It's like
Yeah.
you
I
two
kind
have
of
a
wonder.
very unhealthy relationship.
Yeah, like part of me was like, are they gonna have an affair? Because that's weird. But never went there. But maybe I don't know. Maybe it did, and Beverly
Maybe
never
Beverly
knew.
didn't know it went there.
Yeah, and maybe that's why the dad didn't like Gerhardt because he
Yeah.
knew. Maybe.
Who knows?
Uh
Oh, Tanya says she's been in a reading slump too.
oh. I know. Tanya and I, all we want to do is stitch. We can't. We're just stitching and knitting, and we can't read anything because how do you read books with your hands full of yarn? That's why we have to do audiobooks. Yes.
Christy, when is Dewey's? Is it next weekend?
What is it? Oh, I
Dewey's?
missed it.
Christy
Oh,
says she is gearing up for Dewey's.
Oh, that's
Is
right.
that
It is
next week?
next weekend. Mm-hmm.
It is, right?
Yep. I forgot all about that. I follow them on Instagram, but I haven't seen anything recently, so I don't know. Unless I'm following an unauthorized account. That could be. Yeah, Tanya, I like Scribd when it actually works. Like I've come to peace with the fact that my book is gonna just stop at some point and I'm gonna have to restart it. I mean, not restart the whole book, but just like I'll be listening to a book and it'll just shut off and I'll have to reopen Scribd and you know restart listening to it. Because it's just a glitch. I don't know. I don't
Hmm.
know. But so that part doesn't bother me as much as like it cutting me off on what audiobooks I can get, midway through. Like after two audiobooks I get cut off.
Huh.
It's weird because they tell you it's unlimited, but that's a load of crap.
Right.
It's not.
Huh. See, I
So,
haven't had that happen to me. I've only listened to probably 3 books on Scribd, so I haven't listened to
that's
very many.
yeah, that's
So I haven't
probably why.
yeah, I haven't had either of those issues happen, but maybe if I pick up some audiobooks,
I,
several, it
yeah,
might do that to me.
yeah, and I haven't been able to tell yet how many you have to get for it to do that, but sometimes it doesn't seem like a whole heck of a lot.
Mm,
And I kind of wonder if it's like if you get a more popular audiobook, then it's like, okay, you only get one more for this month. But
yeah,
if it's like a classic that, is maybe not like that
popular.
sought after, then it'll
Yeah.
let but I don't know. Oh, she says, let's see. I'm reading what Tanya says. Um, well, I could probably, can I? That might be too long to put up on.
Yeah,
Nope, nope.
Tanya, I have the same
Oh,
issue with
oh,
Libby.
there we
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Okay.
Yeah, I have the same issue with Libby. The waits are forever, the wait time. Like I've been wanting to check out the audiobooks for the Mitford series, but the wait is 6 to 8 weeks. I'm like, I don't have time. 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. I need them now. Oh, I know. Yeah. I have that with Overdrive sometimes. It's like, no, you're like 150 out of two copies. Like, really? Like, really?
Yeah.
Maybe you should buy more copies.
Now, some books, and I've mentioned this before, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but you can find some complete audiobooks on YouTube. I don't know if there are
Yes.
copyright infringements, but when I don't have any Audible points left, and I don't, and before I had Scribd, or if they don't
Mhm,
have the book I'm looking for on Scribd or on Libby, I'll check to
mhm.
see if YouTube has the complete audiobook, and oftentimes they do. And not
Yeah,
just
I actually, that's where I got Out of the Silent Planet because I couldn't find it on script or anything, which it probably was there, but it probably cut me off after two, like Tia's saying. so, um, so then I found it on YouTube. So I was like, hey, it's there, and nobody's told them not to, so I'm gonna use it. You know. Yeah, yeah, Tanya. If they're classics, I don't mind listening to them on YouTube because I figure it's a classic. You can get those usually on like LibriVox or something for free. So, but
Yeah, like when people put holds on their library, for library copies, and then
mhm,
they don't get them for weeks and weeks. By that point, I've lost interest. So I'm always impressed by people who like will put a book on hold and then they don't
mhm,
get it for several months after, and they can go ahead and just start reading it.
right.
Me, I'm just like, no, at this point, I don't want to read that book anymore. My
Yep.
interests
Yep.
have moved on.
I found another way to read it if I really wanted to read it that bad.
Or even if I haven't, at some point, eventually, my interest just wanes.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. But sometimes I'll put things on hold at multiple libraries. And just hope that something comes to me eventually within the span of time I have to read it, because my reading is all dictated by the months now.
Yeah.
But oh well.
So, Rainey, did you want to ask our question?
Oh yes. Well, we kind of got into another discussion, so but I was just going to ask what is your preference between like a clean or a sweet romance, or do you like the steamier things? Like, are you bored with the clean romances, or do you find them cute? That's my discussion topic. This one was actually not as romance heavy as I sort of expected it to be. So there was
Mhm.
romance, so we'll allow it. But but I don't know if we could really classify it as a romance actually. But
I mean,
but just the
it ended
yeah,
with a marriage and
yes.
some reconciliation between
Yeah.
couples.
Yeah. So, there was love, but
For me, sometimes I'm in the mood to read something steamy. Sometimes I want to read, like, I know I want open door or whatever you call that. And then there are other times when I um don't have a preference and I'm just like I just want to read a very interesting, compelling love story. And it doesn't matter whether it has steam or if it's closed door or if there's no romance. Although there are times when I've read completely clean romance where I wish there'd been just a little bit of like intimacy, not,
yeah,
not steam at all,
right.
but just a little bit of, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I get
putting
it.
yourself it's like,
Yeah. I mean, y'all know my preference is for like just a little kissing. But I actually don't mind it. I'm not so much of a prude that I'm like, yeah, you can have a little sexy time, so it's fine. But I would like you to just, tell me it's gonna happen, and then we fade to black. That's fine.
now I have read some books. I have read some books where there's very little plot and it's all just sex.
Mhm.
That I don't like that. Like I
Yeah,
need to have if you're gonna bombard me with sex, there needs to be a good love story attached to it. I just can't have like there
yeah.
was one book that I read a couple of years ago that was getting a lot of praise from people on YouTube and Instagram. So I checked it out. I don't remember the title, something about a cabin. And this is literally what happens is the two characters meet by accident at a cabin and they immediately start to be intimate with each other, like immediately. And I am not kidding. The book probably had anywhere from 15 to 20 sex scenes. And that's all it was. It's like there was no
Oh my
buildup of the
gosh.
relationship. There was no, getting to know each other. I'm just like, are you serious? So it's like
Yeah.
I was reading the ebook, so I'm, you know, just kind of like sliding past pages and hope I'm thinking, okay, by this point that sex scene has to be over. Nope, it's not over, it's still going. It's like I'm keep swiping.
Oh,
Okay, at this
jeez.
point it has to be over. Nope, they're still at it. I keep
Nope.
swiping. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just not enjoyable. I don't want to read sex. I don't want to read just
Like, aren't you
sex.
tired? Yeah. Like,
It's like
I mean,
they were on the front porch, they were in the tub, they were in bed, they were on the kitchen counter, they were in the backyard, they were
like,
like next to a tree, they were on the edge of the lake. It's like people, it's only been a few hours. You've only met
I
each
need a
other
nap.
like at 8 a.m. this morning. It's noon. Go eat
I mean,
lunch.
you need some sustenance and maybe a shower. It's
It's like, is that even realistic?
no, I don't think so. I mean, oh gosh. Yeah, I don't like them if they're crass either, Tia. I mean, obviously, that whole thing with like it's nothing but sex. I'm like, that's not romance to me. That's sex.
Hmm.
That should be like a
Right.
whole different genre to me. You know, like I don't know. But Mm. Now let's see. Okay, I gotta silently read Christy's comment. Yeah. Yes. Let's just skip. That's what. Yes, I need. If I feel like I've skipped half the book, then did I really read it? I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand that some people fall into bed really quickly with people, but it's not really been my experience in life, so
Yeah,
it's hard to relate to.
even though that is something that does happen, as a reader, like just my preference, when I prefer to read, I want there to be uh I want there to be a relationship. I
Yeah,
want there a first. I want
right.
there to be uh you know, a I want the characters to, I don't know, get to know each other,
Hmm.
have reasons for being intimate.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I just
that, even that first, uh, what was it called? The Bearded series.
Winston
Oh, the
Brothers.
Winston brothers. Yeah, even that first one. Remember when we were saying like the first scene was these two people that didn't even know who each other was
Right.
necking in the. I'm like,
Yeah.
is that really? Would that really happen? I don't know.
I don't know, and I'm guessing that that does happen. I'm sure that does
I'm
happen,
sure.
but
Yeah,
it's just not my preference.
yeah.
I
And I
don't
would
find that
assume that
romantic
it's
at
not
all. I don't.
most people's experience.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some people's, but no, Christy, you're not too wordy. I can't try to talk and read at the same time. So, oh, let's see. Um, let's do this one. Let's see. I'm going to read it out loud because that's how I'm going to process the wordier comments. Uh, there's a romance I tried to read a while ago, and it was focused on the guy and his body and him in the shower. And yeah, yeah, unnecessary. that, that to me is like, I don't need to know that. If the girl thinks you're cute, great. I don't need to think you're cute. Uh,
I
yeah.
do like physical descriptions of the characters.
Well, yeah.
Although I don't
Yeah.
although I don't need to be reminded over and over that they're handsome or good looking or beautiful or hot. Tell me once or
Yeah.
twice and I'll remember it.
Right.
I'll know it.
Yeah.
Don't hit
Right.
me over the head with how beautiful these people are.
And if that's all they can say about each other, I'm like, is this really going to be a lasting relationship?
Right.
Probably not. Because guess what? You all are going to get old someday, and then you're probably not going to be the same level sexy times as you
And then
are
he's gonna
now.
leave you for a younger woman
Hmm.
who's beautiful and hot and 20-year-old.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
then we're
he's
going to
gonna
have a new type of,
What's
yeah.
that?
Then we'll have a sequel to the story. Yeah, I'll remember you. Yeah. Jessica says, I agree with Angie. I'll remember you.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
and that's where during one in my haul video, I talked about one book that I didn't like it overall because it was royals, and I'm not big into like modern day royals, I guess. I don't like
Uh-huh.
modern day royals. But that's all
Mm.
the author talked about was how hot he was, how amazing the girl's butt was. It's like, okay, why do you need to keep reminding me that she's got a beautiful butt? It's like I don't
Yeah, I don't
get it.
care. Yeah. I, I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, I missed what Tia and Tanya are talking about. There's apparently a book with a big section about water running down some guy's pecs.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Tanya's talking about things being crude. Like, yeah, if it's
Mm.
crude descriptions, that
Yeah.
that is such a turnoff. immediately. That is such an immediate turnoff,
Yeah.
especially when they use, you know, words are that I think are just a bit, I don't know,
Icky. Yeah.
demeaning,
Oh yeah.
cringe.
Yeah. Yeah. I tend to, I mean, I think more for me, the reason that I like the sweet romances is because it focuses more on the getting to know you and the reason behind the person liking
Yeah.
or falling in love with the other person. You know, it's not just like, oh, she had a nice butt. I
Yeah.
feel like I needed to have sex with that. You know, like, okay, great. I mean, that's what you want to base your relationship on. Okay, but if she has a few too many cookies someday, that uh, but oh well. I mean,
Yeah.
that's been my experience anyway. I like cookies, so
Yeah, I used to only like steamy romance.
okay.
That was and if I was reading things that, well, I rarely read anything that was not steamy. I did read some Christian romance that my sister, because my sister used to read a lot of Christian romance. And so once in a while I'd pick something up that had an interesting looking cover, but I always felt like I was missing out when there wasn't, the romantic sexy scene.
Okay.
And then I started reading some books that had really, really good storylines without
Mhm.
the steam. And I thought, okay, so it's not really the steam that I want. It's that building of the relationship that,
Yeah.
uh,
Hmm.
yeah,
And I think for me too, like I am used to reading classics. So obviously back then, it
right.
wasn't acceptable to have a sex scene in the middle unless unless you were a sensation novel or something like that. Um so like I was kind of raised on Jane Austen style romances. So
Yeah.
to me, even having like excessive kissing is like not now, of course, because now I read all the kinds of romance, but well,
Now you're
not all the kinds.
desensitized to it.
Yeah, let's hope we never pick an erotic novel because I'll
No,
be
I
out.
don't think so.
Yeah, we're gonna draw the line at that.
Oh, yeah, no, I've tried that kind of that
Oh,
genre,
really?
and I just don't like it. And like I
No.
said, I'm
Well,
somebody
because
who
it's
doesn't mind steam,
mhm.
but again, it's just
But
because all it is sex.
right, yeah. Like I think I told you that my neighbor gave me a bunch of books that I'd never heard of, and I don't know why she thought that I would like them, other than the fact that she gave me a Debbie Maycomer one time. So apparently she thinks that I was like really into romance. But
Mhm.
Comer is a total than whatever these things were. I haven't even there. It will get soon. And these, no, Rainy.
So did she
Like
give you,
everybody's like, don't do it. Well,
Rainy?
she
I don't
gave
know
me
if,
a Debbie Maycomer one day. Oh, good.
oh, I was gonna say I don't know if it's my internet that's breaking up or yours, but you're breaking in and out. It could be mine because my internet has been
Ooh,
really
okay.
awful the last couple of days. So I didn't quite hear what you said.
Oh,
You said
okay.
she gave you you said she gave you a Debbie Maycomer, so she assumed you liked romance.
Yeah, she just I don't know why, but she was cleaning out her basement or something and had all these other books by a I think the name was Shaylee was the first name or I don't know the last name, I don't know. But I never heard of that author before. But she gave me a bunch of them, so I um put a picture of them all on Instagram and I was like, I've never heard of these. Is this something that I should read? And everybody's like, no. You will not like them. and a bunch of people said that they are erotic romances. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, those will be going to Goodwill.
Yeah. Huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm
Well,
definitely
okay,
not a
thank you,
fan of
neighbor, but
erotica.
no, no, just for the aforementioned reasons. Like, I don't care if you want to have some sexy times, but I don't want it to be the whole book. Oh, hi, Berna. I missed Berna coming in,
Yeah, I just
but I
saw her.
saw
Hi,
Christy.
Berna.
Oh, there she is. Hello.
Now, I will
That's
say,
the
I
only
did
thing with doing
read.
this on my phone. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
Christy said, uh, no 50 Shades for the Bitter Single Ladies Read Romance Book Club.
No.
I did read the 50 Shades
No.
books.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I've read parts of them uh, under duress. My friend brought one over and was like,
Under duress.
yeah, she bought it and thought it would be funny to read it and like aloud. And she got about a page in. I was like, okay, can we stop now? Can we do something else? This is weird.
So
Like,
I
who
don't
does
remember
this? I don't.
I don't remember
Oh.
if I finished the trilogy. I know I read the first two books. I don't remember if I read the third book, but I have always said this. Had Christian Grey been like say a gas station attendant or a convenience store clerk, the things he
Mhm,
did would have been thought of as disgusting and gross and vulgar. But because he's a millionaire, suddenly those
mhm.
millions or billionaire, whatever it is he is, it makes all of the things he did romantic and sexy. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, but change his income bracket and change his
Mhm.
job, and you're gonna think twice about whether being shackled is sexy or just gross.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's gross,
Oh,
no matter who does it. Whether
I
he's
would
got what,
legitimately
Rainy?
have a panic attack. I would legitimately have a panic attack if anybody ever tried to do that to me. I, let's not think about it. But I would, let's not think too much
Rainy,
about that.
right now I'm imagining you being like grabbed by the hand and being dragged down a hallway. Come on, Rainy, let's do this.
No, I'd run out of the room screaming. I'd be calling the cops. Yeah, that will not happen in my lifetime. That would be a deal breaker. Oh God, it's giving
Yeah.
me nightmares as we speak. Yeah.
Well, should we go ahead and discuss the book?
Oh yes. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I
Now it's
should
on to
announce.
clean things.
Yeah, I should announce the May pick first.
Oh yes.
So I'm really excited about this. I've been looking forward to reading one of this author's books for Bitter Single Ladies since we started this back in September. And
Mhm.
if you are participating in Chick Lit-a-thon, which runs the entire month of May, this fulfills several of the challenges. And the book is The Little Wedding Island by Jamie Adams. I wish I could put up
Ooh,
an image,
little
but
wedding.
there's the book. Jamie
Ooh.
Admins. I think I said Jamie Adams. It's not Jamie
Oh,
Adams. It's Jamie Admins.
yeah.
I have read three other books by Jamie Admins, and they've all been wonderful. And it is clean. It is sweet. It's sweet romance. There's no sex whatsoever. Um, I rave about Jamie Admins because I love everything she writes. I'm hoping this one is just as good as the other three books by her I've read. I'd hate for this to be like the dud of the bunch and have everybody and rave about it to everybody and then have everybody hate the book, but she's really good. And ooh, Rainy, I don't
No,
know if am I frozen?
I'm
Are you
sure it will
frozen?
be fun.
I hope so. And this is about a girl. I think she's a journalist
No,
and
no,
she
you were
writes
frozen
for.
on my end,
Am I frozen on your end?
but you're frozen. I can hear you, your but your image was frozen for a while. It's me,
Oh,
because mine seems fine, but maybe other people
okay. It
can
must
tell
be
us.
my internet.
But
Sorry about that, guys. It's
I
my
don't know.
awful Wi-Fi.
I don't know. It might be mine. I don't know. Because
So, really quickly, The Little Wedding Island is about a
one time I
woman
thought, and
who.
then every no, it's me.
What's that?
Oh, well, Tia's saying that I'm frozen for her, so it might be my internet. Hmm. Maybe I should move to my living room. Maybe if I got closer to my router.
Maybe.
Uh-oh. Oh boy. Okay, here. I'm gonna move us.
Okay.
So don't look at me because you'll get sick.
Okay. So while Rainy's moving, I'm going to explain the plot of The Little Wedding Island. So The Little Wedding Island is about what's her name? Bonnie. I think her name is Bonnie. She writes for a wedding magazine and she's working on a story about this island where people if people marry there, the there's like a what is it? Your marriage ends in a happy ending, something like that. And so she's going
Oh,
there to investigate, but
okay.
in order to go there, you have to be either um you have to go with your significant other. So she hires somebody to go with her and pretend to be her boyfriend, I think. I did a
Oh,
really bad job explaining that. Sorry, guys. But look it up on Goodreads.
ooh, sorry. Ooh, okay. Okay. I'm in a new location, so we'll see if this works. Oh, are you there, Angie?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Your image was frozen for me again, so I wasn't sure
Oh,
if it was
okay.
me.
You
But
your image is coming through okay for me now.
okay. Okay. All right, cool. Hopefully my change in location will help. But now I forgot my drink, so I'll have to drink water. Darn it. Okay, um this book then for us. Are we ready to talk about this?
Yeah,
Okay.
ready to talk about it.
Okay. All right. So, let's see. Oh, who else is here? Sorry.
So
I'm
I do
still like
have to
trying
admit
to
again, I have not finished the book.
But you're
I'm not
close.
finished anything. I'm telling you, I'm in a slump. Yeah, I have 5 chapters left, but Rainey explained to me how the storylines concluded, how they ended.
Yeah. Yeah, you weren't too far away from the endings. But I
So,
mean I liked it. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say there were a couple of people who DNF'd it.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Now that's
Yeah.
what I want to know. Why, before we get into it, because that might give us some talking points. The people who DNF'd it, why did you DNF? Like Zoe and I think Berna.
Lorna.
Did you
Yeah.
DNF? Okay.
Yeah. I think Berna mentioned in her weekly reads or in her recent reads
Oh
that
yeah,
she thought the characters were pretty cliched.
yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they one of the issues that one thing that I don't like it when characters in books feel like characters.
Yeah.
It's like I can't get immersed in the story when the characters are just characters to me. And
Mm-hmm.
this was that's how I felt about this book probably through 50% of it. And then by the time I
Yeah.
got over halfway through the book, I was able to kind of enjoy the story a little bit more, but initially I just couldn't get over the characters feeling like characters to me. And so
Mhm.
that, yeah, that really affected how I felt um about the story initially.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that because I at first I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna get like too preachy or something since it is Christian fiction, but like I didn't really feel like it was too preachy, but the characters just didn't seem very like and the things that they would get upset about, I was like, that's not really that big of a deal. Like, but
Mhm.
or at least I mean, I can see like the married couple. They really annoyed me. And I can see like all the little things build up to make you get to that point of not
Right.
yeah, of being in that situation, but like I don't know, they would just like nitpick at each other constantly.
Yeah. I mean,
And then
it was realistic
yeah,
in that I know married couples can get to that point where everything just bothers them about the other person.
yeah,
But I don't know that I think just the way just the writing style,
hmm
maybe. Like you said earlier,
yeah,
it's not a writing, it's not a book that's going to win any awards for writing.
right. Like I feel like this is what people talk about when they talk about like badly written Christian fiction.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, apparently this Wanda Brunstetter, the author, is like one of the OG Christian romance
Hmm.
writers. So like I kind of wonder, do we think that they're cliche, but she was one of the first people doing it, so it was like not cliche when she was writing it. I don't know when
Yeah.
this was even written.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna check. When was it
Yeah.
published? 2012.
Okay. So never mind.
I don't know. Maybe it is just her writing style. Like,
No.
just like with the other book, the one about the one that we read last month or that we were supposed to read and I have not finished. The one that
No.
most of us DNF'd also. Like
Yeah.
it's the writing style, like her book, last month's book felt like it was written by a college student taking a fiction writing class. And this
Yes.
to me felt like it was written by like a housewife who writes as a hobby. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, both of them write much better than I could. They write much better than anything I could ever produce. But that's why I'm not a writer. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, like yeah, like if you're going to get your books published, then you should feel like you could write better than the average person. So I don't know. But um Jessica said that Ruby was her favorite most realistic storyline, and I thought that too. Um
Mhm.
but yeah, she got like the least amount of page time, I thought.
Mhm.
So um
She and Paul didn't get a lot of page time.
no, I didn't really feel like Paul's story was very fleshed out. Like I got
Mhm.
that um like they it kind of seemed like they needed to force a storyline for him.
Yeah.
Um so they made that thing about his sister-in-law that couldn't forgive him, but I'm like, but we
Right.
never even met the sister-in-law, so what do we care? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah, and then with Ruby Lee's problem, the issue she was going through was her the church members were unhappy because her husband, the pastor, wanted to uh add on to the church building,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? That was and
Right.
so they were making up all these lies about the pastor that and I don't know, that also to me just felt kind of I mean, and I don't know, maybe there are really nitpicky dumb
Oh, I'm sure
arguments like
there
that
are.
at
Yeah.
church, but it just seemed silly.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what I mean when like a lot of the situations just seemed trite,
Right.
that they were getting really upset about. And I mean, I guess I can understand like it costs money to add on to the church, and
Mhm.
maybe they didn't think that that was a good use of the money.
Right.
But that
Yeah.
wasn't really explained. Like nothing was explained why they didn't want him to add on to the church.
Mhm.
It was just like all these people were being grumpy about him wanting to add on to the church and it's giving him anxiety. Well,
Yeah.
why is it giving you anxiety? Like, what are they saying about you? You
Mhm.
know, why don't they want you to add on to the church? Like, give me a little bit more, give me a little bit more reason to care about why this is so bothersome to you.
Yeah, and so I think she definitely focused on the married couple, Pam and Stuart, and on Star and Jan. It's like those were the three
Hmm.
storylines that the author focused the most on. And I
Yeah.
was surprised by how much of it was told through Star's point of view.
Yeah. Me too.
Whenever they have
How old
the
was she?
that's a question I had. How old was she? She must have been like college aged because she talked about writing a paper for 12th grade high school.
Oh,
So she
yeah.
must have been maybe
She was
between
at least, yeah, she must have at least been out of school or
mhm,
like able to go to college
yeah.
because she talked about dating Jan too, which was
Which turned
oh,
out to be yeah, after Jan's like, "Oh, if I were 10 years younger, I'd want to date her." And then come to
like
find
huh?
out, oh, it's a good thing you didn't date her because she's your
Well,
long
they
lost.
they even say that at some point in the book. They're like, "Oh, thank goodness I didn't
Yeah,
start dating him." Like, gross. Oh gosh.
I do
Uh,
have to say, and this is like I'm the last I am so not a sensitive person. Like I don't care. I was just talking to
yeah.
Summer about this yesterday. Like I don't care if a non-Hispanic author writes about Hispanic characters. Like
Mm,
I couldn't care less about that. I mean, as long as you've done your research,
mhm.
you maybe lived in Mexico or in some Latin American country and you want to write about a character who's Hispanic, go for it. I'm so not I don't need trigger warnings. I don't need, but I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of funny. I was just like, and this is just me being like mean, where the character Paul, he's eating tamales for breakfast, and I'm like, I was just thinking in my head, Mexican people, we also eat like donuts for breakfast and cereal and
Yeah.
scrambled eggs. Sure, we eat tamales sometimes, but you know, so I just thought that was kind of funny. It just made me
I kind of thought that too. It's like everything was kind of like a caricature of how somebody would
right,
be.
right,
Yeah. And
yeah,
like the blonde lady, she was obviously like really into herself and like a prissy person and like and yeah, like Paul was eating tamales for breakfast and
which sure we do. I eat
okay.
the occasional tamal for breakfast, but I just yeah, but they definitely did feel like caricatures, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, and I thought it was kind of funny too that the author, several times repeated the character's like ethnicity. So she'd be
Oh,
like the African American woman, the Hispanic man. After she don't, and it's again, it's like telling me that a character is beautiful. Okay, tell me once that a character is Hispanic, and I'll
I'll remember
remember.
it.
You don't
Yeah.
have to tell me 50 times that a character is Hispanic. So it was just,
Well,
no big deal.
yeah.
Just
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because Ruby Lee, she got so little time at the beginning that I honestly didn't realize that she was African American. I must have just because I listened to it, so I don't know if I
mhm,
just missed that. Um, and like she didn't really, I'll give her credit. She didn't try to like make make up an accent for anybody.
right. Yeah.
You know, like yeah, she threw in some Spanish words for Paul's character um and I think Jan was like a big hick or something like that.
Yeah.
So like she would do those kind of things, but like thankfully she didn't try to make like
Yeah,
a
like a
way to like
dialect or
yeah, dialect, which I thought would be like yeah, with you probably you could shouldn't do that.
yeah. Yeah, I did
But
appreciate that.
yeah. So um but yeah, like I didn't. I didn't pick up on the fact that Ruby Lee was African American at first until I they must have said it, because apparently she said that stuff multiple times. So they must have said it at some well, and then I was looking at the cover and I'm like, who's that African American lady?
Yeah.
Where does she fit into this story?
Yeah,
Like,
initially, I
oh,
don't think she had mentioned, because I think Ruby Lee is like the second character she talked about. And
okay, yeah,
she didn't mention, at least unless I skipped it, because I'm like, Ruby Lee, which one's Ruby Lee? Because yeah, I was going back and
yeah,
looking at the characters. And
mhm,
then I think the second time she brought up Ruby Lee is when she mentioned she was African American. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's Ruby Lee. And
yeah,
yeah. But yeah, then she mentioned it several times. It's like
uh,
whenever the
yeah,
characters would talk about, they would go home and like talk to their friends or family about it. They'd be like, "Oh, there was a Hispanic man and a African American
yeah.
woman."
Say, I got to make sure that that I'm in a club that's full of diverse people.
Yeah.
That's how it felt like. Like, do you really have to describe everybody's like ethnicity
Hmm.
to your mother or something?
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
So
But
Amy said she kept rolling her eyes. The characters were cliche and annoying.
yeah, I agree. I thought it was they were kind of cute, but yeah, definitely. Like you, you had to like take it for what it was.
Yeah.
You know, like at first I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be a struggle. And then, and like, I was like, no, you know what? This is Christian Amish, fiction. I'm just going to take it for what it is, try to find the niceness in the story and take it from there.
Yeah, I mean it was nice to a nice place to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoyed being in the at the quilt meetings, even though there was a lot of
Mhm.
arguing and people had a lot of issues. But I enjoyed the time there.
Yeah. I actually kind of wish that we had gotten more of Emma with them.
Hmm.
Like I kind of felt like we got, you know, glimpses of everybody else, but we didn't really get a ton of time at the quilt club, you know.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess we did, but it felt like we got everybody else's backstory more than we got them within the quilt club. And then when it was always super awkward.
Yeah, yeah, because they spent all their time arguing and
Yeah, yeah, that was weird.
judging each other. So does book two continue with these same characters? Do you know?
I don't know. I just from the prologue, it makes it sound like she's going to have a separate class.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have a feeling that it would be different characters. I'm trying to find if I can see anything about it, but oh, there was discussion questions. Oh,
Oh,
I
were
should have
there?
looked at that. Yeah, but they're all very long. I'm not going to try to read them now.
Yeah. Tanya asked if this was a TV show, and Jessica said she thinks it might have been a musical.
Yes, it is a musical. Let me find
Really?
it here. Yes. Okay, I'm going to try to see Half Stitched the musical.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know. Oh, and then there's also Stolen the musical, which must be another thing by her. I don't know. So it's a small Pennsylvania community.
This might be
Oh,
fun as a musical.
it probably would be. I can see these characters working for a musical
Yeah.
because, or at least like a comedy, a play. It would definitely be different.
So, what did you think of how their stories were resolved, Rainy?
I thought it was good. I mean, because in romances and things of that nature, like everything's definitely going to wrap up
Right.
in a nice bow. Um, the couple, they it didn't really. I thought it worked well. Like they resolved it, but it was like we still have a lot to work on. But this
Mhm,
is like they buy an RV at the end so that they can go camping like he wants to do, but she doesn't have
mhm.
to sleep in a tent. So I thought like that, that is a good compromise, I guess. Like, they maybe could have rented a cabin instead, but
Yeah, I think had they talked about their issues, they probably could have resolved that a lot sooner.
Mhm.
Had they said, "Look, I don't want to sleep in a tent,"
Yeah.
and he'd have said, "Well, how about an RV?" And then "Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good." And there, that's it.
But
Issue
then he was
solved.
like, yeah, but then he was like, I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to sleep in a tent. I'm like, really? Are you that dumb? Like,
I did think it was funny when he tried to round up uh the goat.
yeah,
It's
that
like
was funny.
a goat is not uh uh an animal, one of the animals you're hunting,
Yeah. It's
right?
just
Because
gonna
he wasn't.
headbutt you
Yeah.
and be in pain. And you're gonna be in pain. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's see, I gotta scroll back. Oh, wait. Yes, Berna, I agree. I think it would be better as a musical because musicals are supposed to be corny. That's who would I play in this musical? I feel like, well, I was gonna say I would be the hoity-toity Pam. I probably would be. Let's be real. I probably would be.
Hmm.
Oh
I'd be the
yes.
ghost of Paul's wife.
Oh yeah. There you go. Woo!
Eating
That'd be an
eating
added
tamales for
twist.
breakfast.
Serve him tamales, and then it would get all hot and steamy. It would be a sudden paranormal romance.
An Amish paranormal romance.
We're gonna write it, Angie.
Yeah,
Under
it'll be our
yeah,
first collaboration.
yeah. What did we decide our name was gonna be? Angelica Lorraine. I like
Angelica
it.
Lorraine. Yeah.
Hmm. I like it. Oh, bye, Tanya.
Oh, bye,
Oh, and bye,
Tanya.
Tia. And Tia.
Bye, Tia.
Well, bunches of people need to go. So, what time is it? Oh, I actually should go soon too because I have a Patreon book social thingy today
Oh,
at
yeah.
3:30. So, and I skipped out
Oh,
on it last time because I also had like a major online day, and I was like, my throat hurts from all this talking.
yeah. No, you've got half an hour, less than half an hour.
Yeah, yeah. Which
Yeah.
I mean,
So I
it's
guess
just the social, so meh. But but yeah, I don't really feel like there's a ton more to say about this one. This one,
yeah.
I probably gave it like a 3 star. It was cute for what it was. It was a
Yeah.
cute story, but I wouldn't call it like a Pulitzer Prize winner.
No, definitely not.
No.
Yeah. Well,
So
thank you to everybody who joined us today
yeah, it was
and
fun.
who attempted reading the book.
Oh, oh yes, I just reminded Christy of our Patreon social.
Oh,
Okay. Yes. So what is our book again, Angie? Just
the
so
title
remind.
is uh The Little Wedding Island by Jamie Adamans. And like
Okay.
I said, it covers several of the challenges for Chicletathon,
I
including
did.
yellow on the cover,
Oh,
something to do with the wedding, and
okay.
location, a location
Nice.
you might like to visit. This takes place in Scotland somewhere.
Yes, that
So,
is definitely a location I would like to visit. So
yes.
okay. Well, we will post about that in on Instagram and everything, and we will talk to you next month. Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.